I love that I just filmed a video on time lapse. So, which is good because it will help me keep this video really concise. And I really wanted to share this today around objective truth and subjective truth because I had a really good conversation with a coach this morning. And it is phenomenal. I've only been with her for a week, but she's helping me to refine and clearly communicate my message. And anyway, so we were talking about sovereignty because sovereignty is the heart of my journey. It's been the heart of my journey since I started. And it took me a lot of deconstruction of my own mind to really understand the depths of why I'm here. So I've always known, but I never really understood how deep it went, right? And so that has been a journey. That's been a real journey. And we were talking about truth because truth is really, really important for me because without truth, you don't really know what's going on, right? So you're still operating in the shadow. You're still operating in deception. And so I was talking about sovereignty and the World Economic Forum and paedophilia and the elite rings and, you know, the fact that there's just a few people that kind of commandeer all these other systems because they sit right at the top in its pyramid, right? It's a hierarchy. And it filters down much like waterfall does, right? But like, you know, we went into a conversation around conspiracy theories, and that everyone's truth is subjective, and you know we don't have the right to force other people, and blah 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 blah. And I totally understand where she's coming from, 100%. Like I really believe in choice. I really, really do believe in choice. But I also believe that in order to actually make a good choice, you must be able to hold the information. You must be able to objectively see what's going on. And I have the same issues, right? Where I still have some patterns of avoidance that I operate. I do, right? I see them. Doesn't make it any easier. But I do the work to clear it. But in order for me to do the work to clear it, I just have to know what it is. I have to know what it is so that I can create the tension to make a new choice, to make a new energetic set point, to change my own mind, right? And so with the World Economic Forum and with the stuff that's been happening in the last 2 to 3 years, it's really important for humanity to be able to actually see what has been happening, not just the last 2 and 3 years, but for centuries, right? Because not all the information is shared. It is psychologically manipulated to control behavior. A lot of it comes through the media. A lot of it comes through these self-appointed authorities, the pharmaceutical industry, the agricultural industry, the religious industry, because it is an industry, right? And the governments, right? The governments around the world. So even the British monarchy. And they operate in a way to have people be subservient to those systems so that they operate a hierarchy, right? So they tell you how to dress, they tell you what the social issues are, they create fragmentation, you know, they indoctrinate you with things like, well, the Queen was whatever, right? My son got a whole book on the Queen when she passed away, right? And like, it's, I'm not, what's the word? I don't really feel any way about it, but it's, actually no, I'd be lying if I said that. I do feel frustration because people are not making a true choice and they're being put through pain when it's really unnecessary. A lot of suffering, and it's really unnecessary. And, you know, even if you don't look at the World Economic Forum, like, it's so obvious, it's beyond belief. And if you look at the authorities that are making these rules, I mean, Justin Trudeau, you know, what he tried to do in Canada, and then you had all the truckers that came to, you know, really say no, I think was a good thing. I mean, they got a lot of backlash for it, but when you look at them, first of all, they don't follow their own rules, right? They don't do what they're telling everyone else to do. In the UK, you had Matt Hancock, right? He was telling everyone, don't hug your granny, and there was always fear. And he was sleeping with his mate, right? I don't know what position she was in. I didn't mean that's fun, but you know, he was clearly not following his own rules. He doesn't care. He's not worried. Why is he not worried? Because he knows it's not true, right? Then you had all these pictures of kids in America that have to wear masks, and, you know, a lot of parents coming out and, you know, really standing up to a lot of the school boards and things like that. But then they were ridiculed, right? And then you have the G8 summit photos that came out, and then you had the Grammy Awards that came out. Oh, my bird wants to come out as well. And they were clearly not wearing any masks, and they were hugging each other and things like that, right? They don't follow their own rules. When you look at the Ghislaine trial, if you read the case notes, you will see there are a lot of celebrities that are within those files. And for some reason or another, the collective turn a blind eye to it. They don't want to know, right? They're too busy with their own stuff. It's not even that they don't want to know, it's understanding how the mind works, right? It's understanding how to penetrate the critical mind. So when you're not in a space of truth, you're in a space of deception. And you can't really change anything from there, right? Because it's so, because it's just another lie upon another lie and another lie and things like that. So in order for you to be able to make different decisions and to be able to self-regulate and to make different choices for your own individual life and for the collective, the truth is very, very important, and objective truth is very, very important. You know, like, we do have our own filters and perspectives, but if you're not looking at something objectively, you have no structure, and then you're just operating chaos anyway, right? And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, you know, I said to my business coach this morning that if you had a coach that was, you know, coaching women how to heal from abusive relationships, and someone was in an abusive relationship, that coach wouldn't turn a blind eye. Well, I hope they wouldn't, right? And just be like, oh, do the inner work and everything will change. They would say, go get help, get out of that environment, start to lay boundaries, right? Let the other person know that it's not okay. And really communicate your preferences, right? Because no one coming into your sovereign space, your bodily space, without your permission, and in terms of that, especially if it's physical abuse, should have the right to do that. That's not sovereignty. Anyway, so, you know, you would hope that's what they would do. And then you would also do the inner work to make sure that it's not in your unconscious mind, because your unconscious mind will let you have whatever you think it thinks you can survive. It doesn't care. It doesn't really understand survival, right? So, for example, I know someone else who was in an abusive relationship for 10 years. The only thing that changed the unconscious, the emotional mind, was when she nearly died, right? Because her husband took the other side of the axe and smacked her over the head with it, and then she was unconscious for 4 hours. And that was when the emotional brain was like, oh, yes, maybe we should leave now, right? So your logical mind is actually the genius part of your mind, but your emotional mind is where you see 98% of your results. And so this is the same thing, but at a collective level, right? So the World Economic Forum is the same thing, but at a collective level. And so in order for us to make different decisions and to reduce and eliminate suffering, right? Because you'll always have things to overcome, right? You'll always have challenges. That's just part of the journey and the fun. But you're not meant to suffer. You're not supposed to have this much duress on your nervous system. You're just not, right? And fight, flight and freeze has evolved over time. We're the only species that can switch on the stress hormone just from thinking, right? So with nothing happening and you be worrying about something because of the way that you've been conditioned and indoctrinated, and you don't know the power of your own mind. You don't know the divine spark and the power of creation that exists within you. Actually, you don't create anything new because you're just trying to solve old problems about realizing that you're creating via default old patterns and stuff. And like it is complex, right? Because not everything is bad. There's a lot of goodness in the world too. But there is a plan that is vying for total control by the year 2030. And so the good news is that once you have awareness and you have information, you can make different decisions. And so that's what I wanted to really share, right, was around objective truth and being open to different types of information, use your own discernment, but make different decisions. And I've got to say, like, a lot of it's very common sense. You know, if you have a preacher that says, do as I say and don't do as I do, right? You've got to really question that. You've got to really, really question it. Because who is it for? Is it actually for you, or is it for the person that just doesn't want to be questioned, right? That doesn't want to feel anything different. And in that way, we will allow ourselves to build new systems as these old systems are coming down. So they are already starting to crumble. I don't know how long it will take. Apparently we're on another 4-year learning cycle because we kind of missed the boat on the last 4 years. But, and I don't know, right? I don't know that for sure. But from what I've seen, it does seem kind of obvious that we missed the boat, right? But the point is, we can have a world of peace, love and harmony, and we can eliminate the cycles of trauma, and we can come into a new era. We really can, right? But we have to choose it, and we have to step into maturity, and we have to learn how to get along, right? Without the kind of force or control that or indoctrination that we've been subjected to. You know, babies don't really know fear, and of course we're here to guide them, right, so they don't kill themselves. But but they don't even really see you know, color and things like that. They're just very happy-go-lucky, right? They don't have to learn about the 5 a.m. club because it's naturally built into them. They get up whenever they get up, and they're raring and ready to go for life, right? They're on a journey of discovery. And it's only when they lose that connection to unconditional love and, you know, all of those things that they lose, they get stuck in these patterns. And don't get me wrong, like, the self-conscious is really important for you to have an experience. It's important for us to make meaning to our environment. But if it's being done with an intention for complete control, I would question that, and I would look at making different decisions around it. Anyway, I'm going to go. Hopefully I haven't put this on time lapse again. That was really fun. If you watched this video, thank you very much. And I would just say, you know, keep sharing the information. You can do it with love. You don't have to do it with force. You can ask really good questions. Questions are amazing for the unconscious mind. And then choose what it is you want. Choose wisely. All right, everyone. Over and out. Bye bye.